Hello doctors, my name is Nadia Ahmed and today I'm going to present my online final jury. So my graduation project is basically a digital art museum that is fully and entirely dedicated for the refugee crisis that has been going on for several years now. And it's very sad and frustrating that we cannot really do anything about it. We cannot stop it. But what we can do as designers is change the mindset of the communities and the people through spaces, through bringing awareness, knowledge, education, and most importantly, humanity back into the community and change their perspective on how they are viewing a refugee. A refugee is not just a poor person that needs our donations and needs our pennies. A refugee is a person that needs education and knowledge as much as we all do. So my graduation project is a museum that bring all those important elements back into the community. Imagine fleeing out of your homeland, leaving your friends, your families, your loved ones all behind for the sake of survival. Imagine fleeing to the other side of the world with absolutely no plans, not knowing what to expect nor what to do. Imagine the amount of brutal psychological and physical impacts that you would have for the rest of your life. Imagine the crucial processes that you would have to go through on a daily basis, making it your new daily life routine. Now imagine kids being orphans at such innocent age, not having family members nor friends around them. So my aim is to encourage people to take an action. That action is very important for their mental, psychological, and physical impacts. Because at the end of the day, those three things may make them and us collapse. So by designing a refugee city-like museum that only focuses on what refugees really need, that could bring communities all together regardless of their ethnicities or of their cultural background. So gathering all those people around, changing their mindset and perspective by taking an action and thinking basically out of the box, thinking of new ways on how they might help a person that really needs our help in those crucial times, is what I am aiming to do in this museum. So by taking you on a journey of a refugee world, you would know how you would react to whenever you see a refugee. So while designing this museum, I have focused on four main aspects. The first one is stop categorizing people, meaning welcoming people of all kinds, letting them engage with one another regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their race. The second thing is moving away from storage facility, meaning making the functions more open together, having open spaces to let them interact with one another. The third one is uniting people, which is unity, and that is also represented in the materials. The fourth and last thing and most important things are the social interaction and social sustainability. And by using very light color schemes and very light materials to not overwhelm the whole digital screens and interactive parts with the outdoor experience to keep it very quiet and relaxing. So my quote states, to share is to evoke humanity. So basically, by sharing real life stories about real life refugees all around the world that have been going through such crises, no matter what the cause is, and abstracting similar scenarios and putting them in a narrative, that I eventually ended up with a book. This book contains of 6 chapters, and each chapter represented in a hall. In each hall, the user will experience what it is like being a refugee at a certain period of time. So I have used those grid lines as an inspiration to design my refugee city-like museum, which provoke that neighborhood vibe experiences, but in an educational purposes. Programming stage is done last semester in a book, so I have placed my major, minor, and service components up here. Selecting the Bahrain International Exhibition and Convention Center for our project, which is Digital Arts Museum, but shifting the location from Sanabis Manama to Bahrain Bay Manama, which is very suitable for our kind of museum. So here is where you meet my users. So now, doctors, welcome to Awaken Digital Art Museum. So here's the ground floor plan. As you can see, it looks like a refugee neighborhood kind of vibes, and it consists of three parts: the right part, the middle part, and the left part, which will be explained in the coming slides. This is the main circulation of the ground floor plan, and of course the fire exit circulation. And the zoning, basically these are the halls, and these two sections are the activities. I have utilized the high ceiling by providing a rooftop plan that contains of displays and activities, and that is to enhance the refugee city-like museum that I want to create. Staircases and elevators are provided to move from the ground floor plan to the rooftop plan. 4 fire staircases are provided when the fire occurs. The rooftop plan consists of displays on your right and activities on your left. So in the section, you can clearly see the utilization of the high ceiling, which is from 7.5 meters until 9.5. Starting off with the reception and waiting area, this is the first thing you will see when you enter my museum. On your right is the administration offices, and on your left is the toilet. Because a museum is a public space, so assistive technologies have to be considered and have to be in mind. So smart glasses are provided for the deaf and mutes, and 3D printed books are provided for the visually impaired people to experience the museum just like all of us, alongside with the reception desk. So this is the waiting area. Those LED thin lines are to give hints that this is a digital art museum without the extensive use of screens and lightings. Start off your journey with a digital suitcase that will be given to you by the receptionist. It's optional if you want it or not, but it contains of digital objects that represent what you need to take with you as a refugee. Entering the first hall on your right, called What If? You are now a refugee. It displays the causes on the floor alongside with the map of the world and the percentage. You will be chosen a cause, and that cause will be the reason of you fleeing out of your homeland. After choosing a war cause, for an example, you are now entering the second hall, which is It's time. It's time for you to go out of your house to find your way out of this country and to flee abroad. As you're trying to find your way out, you will be stopped by seeing all those crashed furniture, hearing a lot of noises, recalling all the memories in just few seconds because you're leaving your own house. Those hallways are not recognizable anymore because of the mess that have been made. You're trying to pack your stuff as fast as you can, and you're trying to get all your stuff together to leave your house that you do not know where the exit door is now. You're now almost there trying to just live in peace. You are now finally outside the house, looking at your neighborhood, looking at your country, all ruined because of the war. Entering the third hall, A Day in the Sea, which is basically days in the sea, you're now experiencing the most dangerous days of your life. Getting out of your country using very weak boats. People now are swimming, people are drowning, people are asking for help. Hurricanes are happening, rain and wind all over the place in all directions. You're now just hoping to get to your new country so safe and sound. You just arrived to your new home and all you think about is, this is going to be my place for the rest of my life. Looking at this weak constructed tent and thinking that this won't be enough to keep you safe and warm. You're now setting up your house, trying to make it feel like home again. Looking at your new neighborhood that is filled with people all around the world. You're now sharing kitchens, bedrooms, living rooms with people that you don't know but sooner will be your second family. Trying to get warm in this crucial weather because the tents are not enough. Hold on to your bag because you're almost there. You are now in the realm of nostalgia phase where you recall your favorite memories of your families and friends and neighborhood. Looking at your favorite shops, visiting your grandparents, visiting a family member. All those memories are not to be held against you, but to make you feel much stronger because sometimes in order to move forward you have to look back. This transitional corridor between Hall 5 and Hall 6 is basically a motivational corridor. It is made out of very rough material to kind of represent the struggles that you've been gone through all these times, and having all those motivational quotes to really encourage you to go to the better. Finally, at your last stage of your life, having your dream job, having accomplished all the things that you wanted to do, being hopeful, being optimistic that you are. This basically displays real success stories about refugees and having their holograms talking about themselves and their success. Still holding onto your bag and wonder why it is so empty? That is because when you are experiencing in these halls, digital objects from your suitcase were disappearing. That is to let you know that all you need to go out of these halls is yourself, not those objects. All you need to start over again is you and yourself. That is inspired by real stories where refugees packed their suitcases and then ended up losing them going to the asylum country. So all halls are connected, but each hall has its own door for exit and entrance just in case of an emergency. They are connected just to enhance the narrative manner experience. Explaining the left side open area of the plan and then moving on to the middle part. So the first component is the shop. As you can see, it has like a huge window here to view the displays from the outside. The shop also has interactive objects such as the interactive table that works with the headset and an interactive corner out here for advertisement purposes. As you can see, the lines and the material selection is very light and very calm for the eye. It is also opened and connected to the other components. Second component is the library that has window that views the Bahrain Bay skyline. You can have your work presented in those services, and in this reading area you can scan the QR code in the book and it will directly be uploaded online in your pad. So this is an interactive class for kids to paint digitally and just have fun. Going to the courtyard, this is the first view you see when you enter this place. It's in the middle of all components. It acts like a break between those components and it's open to the rooftop. So it's a nice place for parents to wait for their kids, to read, to just chill. Going on to the lecture room, we have the hologram teaching method and the normal projectors teaching method along with iPads. The last component of the open area here is the workshop where people can work together to create a hologram. And of course an isometric view to show the main entrances. So these are the main entrances. This is the secondary one and these are meant for the staff and at the same time can be used for fire exits. So moving to the open middle area. As for the temporary hall, you can either begin or end your journey with as you go out. There's a lot of interactive tables, a lot of holograms, a lot of interactive floorings, and because it's temporary, so it can be changed every once in a while. Going on to the donation area where you can scan the QR code and then directly donate. This area is more likely for young adults or kids to just play purposeful game and then directly go to the donation. And of course an on-to-go small shop that is here along with the courtyard that is being like a break between all those functions and acts like a resting and sitting area. Of course the coffee shop and the restaurant area that is covered by a tent-like sculpture by a designer Abir, which is very flexible in use. This is to provide closure and privacy for the restaurant area. At the same time, it can be removed as it is very flexible and functional. And a corridor between the halls to show the stair and the elevators to go to the rooftop. Moving on to the rooftop that has the displays section and the activities section. Here I display real refugee stories of activists, scientists, other celebrities and their accomplishments. This area points out real refugees' photos along with their real stories. Real paintings and artworks done by very famous artists and sculptors that discuss the refugee crisis all over the world. From my perspective area is about refugees writers that tells more about their experiences and their point of view of being refugees. And this is a courtyard where people can grab a book from here and just chill and enjoy the view from the above. The library and shop have similar features as the ground floor area. The Learn Yourself area is where you gain new skills by yourself. This is what the digital museum looks at night. A lot of shows happens on the facade of those halls, and these glasses are switchable so they act as screens. And thank you so much for listening.